Hello, happy Wednesday, middle of the week. We made it. Woo! Woo! Hoods for Wednesday. I look like a Jedi Master. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's April 30th. It's definitely Wednesday. I'm going to share my screen with you really fast so we can get over and get done with today's work. I'm going to show you where I am right now. This is hopefully where you should be. So, for example, today is, 29th. Did I say yesterday was the 29th? Oh gosh, today's Wednesday. Who knows? Wednesday, April 29th. I gave you 4 directions here, guys, just in case you get confused. Make sure you click on the Google form, type your answers in complete sentences, click submit on the Google form, and then click turn in on Google Classroom. Okay? Those are the 4 things you need to do to get credit. This is where you should be right now. Lesson 5.3, Wednesday, April 29th. What is the author trying to persuade you to think? Dogs are the best pets. They wag their tails when you come home. Dogs like to snuggle when you are watching television. They never get mad or talk back if you scold them. Hopefully they don't. That would be weird if they did. Dogs sometimes like to chase a ball, but they might also chase cats. Watch more television? Nope. A cat is a good pet. Not about cats. Dogs wag their tails. Yes, they do. Not what the article's about or the text about. You should get a dog for a pet. That is what they're trying to persuade me to think. If this is true, you can conclude that, let's see, one difference between insects and all other animals is the number of legs they have. Only insects have 6 legs in the entire animal kingdom. Adult insects have 4 wings and 2 antennae on the top of their heads. Spiders have wings, therefore they are insects. I have no idea which spiders have wings or which don't. Last time I checked, though, a spider had 8 legs. That was the whole thing with a spider. So a spider is not an insect. All animals are insects? Really? So your dog or your cat or that rabbit that you just saw, that's an insect? I don't think so. Let's get rid of that one. Insects are only found in North America. Do you really think we're the only continent that has insects like that? Come on, they're everywhere. A grasshopper is an insect. Let me think. Grasshoppers, they do have wings. They have 6 legs, I'm pretty sure. That's my best answer, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to click next. The video is going to be attached right here, guys. Then we're going to move on to the text. Write a gist for the section below. The hint is that the topic is about working women. So let's see, what is it about working women that it talks about? Working women at first lost their jobs at a faster rate than men, then re-entered the workforce more rapidly. In the early years of the Depression, many employers, including the federal government, tried to spread what employment they had to heads of households, so people who ran the house. That meant firing any married woman identified as a family's secondary wage earner. But the gender segregation in employment patterns that was already well established before the Depression also worked to women's advantage. Heavy industry suffered the worst unemployment, but relatively few women stoked blast furnaces in the steel mills or drilled rivets on assembly lines or swung hammers in the building trades. The teaching profession, however, in which women were highly concentrated and indeed constituted a hefty majority of employees, suffered pay cuts, but only minimal job losses. And the underlying trends of the economy meant that what new jobs did become available in the 1930s, such as telephone switchboard operation and clerical work, were particularly suited for women. If you're confused, listen to me read it again. Your job is to understand the text, Jedi Master. Based on this document, state 2 ways women in the labor force were affected by the Great Depression. 2 ways. One way the women were affected by the Great Depression is, a second way the women were affected by the Great Depression is, next source. We're going to write a gist for this section. The hint is you write out who, what, and then where, when, or why. For Black people, the New Deal was psychologically encouraging. Mrs. Roosevelt was sympathetic. Some Blacks got posts in the administration, but most Blacks were ignored by the New Deal programs. As tenant farmers, as farm laborers, as migrants, as domestic workers, they didn't qualify for unemployment insurance, minimum wages, Social Security, or farm subsidies. Roosevelt, careful not to offend Southern white politicians whose political support he needed, did not push a bill against lynching. Blacks and whites were segregated in the armed forces, and black workers were discriminated against in getting jobs. They were the last hired, the first fired. Only when A. Philip Randolph, head of the sleeping car porters union, threatened a massive march on Washington in 1941 would Roosevelt agree to sign an executive order establishing a Fair Employment Practices Committee. But the FEPC had no enforcement powers and changed little. Who, what, where, when, and why. If you're confused, listen to it again. Also, hopefully you've noticed that some of these things that we're reading about are also things that are currently happening right now. Right now, unemployment insurance is going out. Right now, they're talking about subsidies or loans to companies and businesses. We need to think about who's getting that money, what do those people look like, and who is this actually benefiting? Question, based on this document, state one reason many African Americans did not benefit, get good things from New Deal programs. Go back into the text, give me one reason why they didn't benefit from the New Deal programs. Second question, according to this document, how did the government respond to the threat from the sleeping car porters union? So go back in the document and say, how did the government respond to their threat from this union group? So figure out what their threat was and how did the government respond to that? When you are done, log into Lexia for 20 minutes. Congratulations, you finished today's classwork. Make sure you click submit. Then you can turn in your classwork on Google Forms. I'm done being a Jedi Master for today. Although the Force will always be with me. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow.